Here we are. All righty. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our visitors to the City of Eureka Springs Cemetery Commission. Today's Monday, I almost said the 17th. We've been postponed. Today is the 24th, and we're at the City Auditorium basement in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. We have a call to order. That it was it, and our roll call.
L.B. Wilson.
Rita Reckfeld.
And David Danvers. LB, you're going to have to go straight in.
L.B. Wilson.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Attached, you'll find copies of the meeting minutes. I've got another copy. Would you all like to come get a copy here? Okay. Now, so let's take a look at the meeting minutes from our January 20th meeting, and we need to approve those from last month.
I make a motion that we approve the January minutes, January 20th, 2024.
I would like to second that motion.
All right, and all in favor? Aye. Okay, moving right along. Thank you very much. Do we have any public comments?
No. Approval of the agenda.
Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped right ahead. I did that last month too. You've got the agenda for today in front of you, and I would like any discussion.
I'd like to add to new business the cemetery truck issues.
Okay. All righty. I have that as loose ends needing a truck.
Well, it's different. Situations change.
That's right. Okay, so we're going to discuss the truck. I think we've got a serious problem with the engine. We'll add that as new business. Thank you, LB.
And I'd like to make a motion then that we approve the agenda for today.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's move public comments. And we do not have any. We'll move right on into reports then. The head groundskeeper, sexton, office manager, and superintendent. I think, LB, you'll speak to these.
Just please note the handouts that I provided for you. And as far as the superintendent's log, it's kind of like a day-by-day activity thing that we're doing in the cemetery. On the second page, I did want to make a note. So far, we've had very few expenses in January and February. To date, we've spent $369.61 total, of which $58.50 is toward the sign project. So, and other than that, the other is the payroll log and shows the different purchases. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to take the time, if I can, to identify the various groupings of expenses from our budget, so that I can bring, maybe in the future, showing the exact expenditures under what line item, the amount, the budgeted amount, and the amount that's left to spend. I don't think that'll take too long for me to do that.
No, please.
I'm sure we may get stuff like that from the accounting system.
Yeah.
But I'd like to, like for instance, the $58.50 needs to go to the sign project expenses, because that was for some things, not to my maintenance and hardware.
Right.
You know, and we're getting ready to order some things for our brand new tour, and we need to keep track of the expenses of that associated with the tour as a project. Yeah. All right, that's all I have. If it's just look over that if you ever have any questions, and please, if you ever have any comments and suggestions about improvements in the cemetery, please don't hesitate, because this is a team thing we're doing.
Let me ask you, and thank you very much, and we will discuss this down here at the budget accounting with respect to this. But you have a comment here, maybe we can add to new business and or bring up next month. about purchasing full-size plots for cremain burials is a topic here.
Well, that's just something to consider because the cemetery is getting filled up, its capacity is diminishing. We're going to have to look in the future at expanding its perimeters probably. But right now we've recently added 60 cremains plots. And one of the beauties of the cemetery is trying to maintain alleys and roadways and so forth among the monuments. And we fill all those up with burial sites. It'll drastically change the looks of our cemetery. So it's just something to consider.
I would entertain a motion to add this to next month's agenda if,
I'll make a motion that we add discussion about this, utilizing full-size plots for cremains.
I'd like that. Did I get a second?
Sure, I'll second it.
Okay, and all in favor?
Thank you for that.
Aye, okay, and that, we will add that then next month to new. Very good. Was there any comments about, oh, actually, I think you have it here. Any groundskeeper?
Okay. Just for your information, we have accepted, or I have accepted, I don't know that this needs to be a commission acceptance. One of our groundskeepers has resigned his position effective March 1st. This week, as a matter of fact, is his last week of work. We do need to get an ad in the paper
Okay,
for 24 hours a week, average, and at $15 an hour.
and I've got that in this discretionary budget to do, so why don't I work with you, and then we'll get that ad in the paper like ASAP.
Okay, other than that, anything else?
No, I think that's
No.
good, and if
Good.
there are any questions, we've got the sexton's report is attached, from Hannah. Okay. All right, thank you. The treasurer's report, if you'll take a look in your packet. There was kind of an anomaly that I'd like to point out. Of course, you see the opening balance, 118.13. The Visa bills came, and it was really crazy. You look at the asterisk on these reports, my balance was zero, which it never is, nor can it be, because of T-Mobile's billing system for the phone and the internet is what my card goes to. And LB, you have your specific things and all. In yours, I had a negative 160, a credit for $160.67.
Okay. Recently, I was notified by Hannah, the cemetery manager, and that there were some receipts that were missing. Those receipts I thought had been turned in. So what I did was it's so hard to get a hold of customer service and talk to an actual person at Amazon. But I got all the receipts, I think, but one that were necessary. What they did was they charged my Prime fee of $16.99 a month or something to the cemetery card.
Okay.
So they refunded that. And so there is a receipt. They refunded it to that credit card account. So that may be where that is. I don't know.
Well,
as far as I know, there's only one outstanding receipt, and I just need to know which one it is. It's in my list of things to do, and that'll all be taken care of.
yeah, actually, that could be part of it, but it doesn't explain what the mix-up was with Visa in their general billing to us this month. Now, having said that, I'm positive by the time I get the next month's bills, about March the 7th or 8th or 10th, it'll look like a double up. So next month, it's going to kind of throw off our budgeting a little bit, our monthlies. But so I wanted to point that out, as you'll see here on the treasurer's report. Donation box, 100.
Hurry up.
We'll hold for just a second.
and do that. And, well, I'll tell you what, we can do that anytime, can't we? All right, I'll get back with you. Thank you.
We pause when we have issues at the cemetery.
Be there early in the morning.
Thank you. So the $121 donations I thought was quite outstanding, being the weather that we've had right here in the middle of the winter. The Historical Museum had given us the $1,600, and that was for the Voices, which was up $100 over last year and $600 over year before last. We had a nice donation of $200. Is it okay to mention people's names here? Maybe I better not. But if you look on your report, they're there.
I have a question
Yes.
to that. Do we write thank yous to these folks?
We have thank you cards, and that's something that we need
Yes.
to do. Every time someone makes an effort to care for the
Yes,
cemetery, we need
absolutely.
to encourage that.
I personally gave both of these and the information to Hannah, the next two
oh.
$200 donations.
Okay.
They personally have received them.
Oh, great.
Because I actually went,
Excellent.
took them to the
Thanks.
post office. But we didn't do that with the museum.
I think maybe we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the cards are there on top of the mailboxes in the
Yeah.
office.
Well,
okay.
you want to make a little note there that we will follow up with the museum with the card. And-
Yes.
And then you'll see that dime in the cremation services, that payment. The credits exceeded the debits for the month by $981.20. And then you'll see attached also from QuickBooks, the P&L and the balance sheet as of January the 31st. And that will conclude the treasurer's report. Any questions? Okay. Any special event reports? I don't believe.
Okay, I can give you an update on that since, or at least on part of the sign project, on behalf of Matt,
Oh,
who's not
okay.
here today.
Yeah.
All the posts are in.
Excuse me.
So what we're going to do, hopefully this week, we're going to use Flex Seal to cover the bottom of the post up 26 inches. We're going to get a metal strip about 4 inches wide to where 2 inches of the metal strip is covering the Flex Seal and 2 inches is covering the wood to help prevent weed eaters or weed whackers in the future from scarring up the bottom of the post. And hopefully we'll get that done this week.
They
And
look
then
beautiful.
and then it'll be up to the Kelly Monument. Matt's working with them as to when they can get started. The crucial thing, though, at least that I'm concerned about is, and Matt was talking about spending a day with them. He thinks they can get all the holes dug in a day. Is the location for those poles. We've got to either stake them before they come and identify them with a number and what goes there and have a chart for them, or have a chart for the guy that's bringing the signs anyway. But when the location of the posts need to be, that's huge.
Specific spot, a
Yes.
flag,
Yes, sir.
right?
And so that's ongoing. We should have that completed real soon if the weather warms up.
Yeah, okay, very good. And for those,
Sorry.
yeah.
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
and with respect to the sign project, just for the public's knowledge, we're spending quite a sum of money, in excess of $10,000, we have beautiful new signposts and signs designating both the streets and the block numbers.
avenues,
Yeah, avenues, streets and avenues, and the block. So it's going to be really improve the look and answer a lot of questions from people when they get out there and can't find it. So thank you, LB. Brita, would you like to talk about the,
Sure. We just had another meeting for our preparation for the tour that we're planning to begin in May. We have a number of volunteers from...
let's change this name right now.
Okay.
What would you like to change?
Well,
This says iconography tour, and I think,
I think the working name at this point is Historic Cemetery Tour. So let's use that until we change it.
okay. The historic
Cemetery
cemetery
Tour. It will start the first Saturday in May. Things are going well.
To
So-
give us a little high view and then the details maybe of the meeting.
Okay, sure. So we are focusing on the symbolism found in our cemetery because our cemetery is rich in symbolism on the headstones. And because we are listed on the National Historic Register, I think we have something to offer people who come to our community to visit. So we will have guides dressed in period costume, meaning about the turn of the century, who will be giving an hour-long walking tour through the cemetery and stopping at various interesting headstones and sharing some information about the history of the cemetery and a little bit of history about our community. What else would you like me to add, LB?
When will
with
that
this-
be and how much does it cost?
Oh, okay. So it'll be, we're going to start with every Saturday, beginning the first Saturday in May. Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock, and it will be $20.
Nice.
Those young people, 12 and under, will be free.
Oh, that's
Pets
good.
are
Yeah.
welcome.
And pets are welcome.
Yeah. And do you all take any credit card or is it cash only?
This is awesome, David. Thank you. You're leading me right down the path. Yes, we will take credit card. Visa, MasterCard, which you can do through the...
All of you look and you got to come to the tour. It's going to be incredible.
website?
We love Voices. This is different from Voices. Yeah.
It's very different from Voices because we will not be in character, but we will be talking about interesting graves in the cemetery. So
It's going to be fantastic.
I think it's going to be really good. We have a lot of volunteer interest, so it's
When is-
exciting.
oh, go ahead, Albie.
You said you all will not be in character, but you will be in
We will be in costume,
costume, period costumes.
yes.
Okay.
And this is a differentiation big between Voices, not competition.
So Voices,
Yeah.
Voices, which is a lovely event, chooses people who are buried in our cemetery. They research their lives, and then a person portrays that person at the grave site. That's not what this tour is. This tour is talking about things that are in our cemetery that are particularly interesting. For example, we have 4 zinc headstones in our cemetery. They were manufactured late in the 1800s as a less expensive alternative to granite. And one of the things that's interesting about those headstones is they do not grow any lichen or moss. They look very much like granite. And the engraving or the raised letters doesn't fade away. So that's kind of an interesting point to share. So,
If somebody wanted to get involved in this, is there any like meetings coming up, planning meetings or anything like
yes,
that?
absolutely. Thank you. We have a meeting on March 10th at the cemetery office at 1 o'clock. And if anyone is interested, they're certainly welcome to come.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good. And if you've never been out to the cemetery or you're interested and you'd like to come out, we'll give you a little tour and you'll love the cemetery office. A lot of our Carroll County residents aren't even familiar with that. Shame on you. Anyway, I'm not about guilt. That was a joke. Okay. Hey. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're
Brady,
welcome.
Very much. The item number 3, this budget thing here, Oh, boy, how about that? My, that's a crazy. We've got, let's talk a few minutes about the budget and accounting. So when we went online, got our QuickBooks last year before last, we kind of floundered a little bit. We finally brought this thing up. Well, we went from the basic to a CD version, DVD version, and then we had to go back off of that. And so where we are today is that this budget piece that we desperately need, LB, that you were addressing a few minutes ago, is not part of that small package. So we do need to upgrade. I think last month there was a conversation about this very same thing in our commissioners' meeting. So it's been validated totally with our accounting firm and with Hannah and where we stand. So we had met, we tried to get in and do some budgeting, and sure enough, we can't. So this is going to require us to jump up to the next level, which we're going from, was it $29 a month to, is it $69 a month, then to get this full-fledged suite. And of course, I'm all on board, for that. And we'll open up for discussion, but I'd like to entertain a motion to do this.
Okay.
Well, in thinking about funds that come in and have to be assigned to various needs of the cemetery, I just hate paying $70 a month for an online service for our bookkeeping, along with $225 a month to an accountant. We're over $300, that's over $3,600 a year. I would be in favor of trying to find a system that we can use within, that's not connected to the internet, that we can just use, that will provide all that information to just us. And save the $3,600, buy the software, it costs $300, $400, $500, whatever. That'd be a lot cheaper than $3,600 this year, even more maybe next year, even more maybe next year.
Well, I would just like to say that, I think that our accounting services were running like through the end of the year to get us going, consolidate everything, to roll it up, to get us current in 2024. And going forward, I can talk to them about their rate because it's going very smooth now. I think to take a step back would be serious with respect to the way we're moving forward with our credit cards, which is a subject I want to talk about in a second, as well as, everything just integrated with our banks and bank systems. It's QuickBooks.
It's so important that we are accountable for the monies.
Yes.
And
to
so my
everyone
question is,
here in the state.
Why have we had to go to this situation for accountability where in the past it was done by a treasurer on the commission?
You're talking about what, the quarterly report?
Everything. The treasurer took care of our accounting system for the cemetery in the past.
Well, there wasn't an accounting system in the past. There was this same treasurer report that I do, and then that person was reconciling bank statements. That person was preparing the quarterly report on that spreadsheet, which is a roll-up of just from the checkbook piece, and then they gave us a big spreadsheet at the audit a year ago, which since we've gone up onto QuickBooks now, none of that's needed. There is no one, in my opinion, and I've been heads into this, that on a volunteer basis on this commission, can fulfill any of those responsibilities these days, because we made that decision to move out of just dealing with the 3x5 cards, running everything just out of the checkbook, which a lot of that's obviously still done today. It feeds the system. but there's no one around that can do this, similar, I might add, to the sexton position that we could never fill, and it couldn't be done, and the city allowed us, to have an office manager to handle the sexton roles, as well as the website, Facebook, and this accounting system.
I understand that. What I'm concerned about is trying to encourage people to be on the commission in the future. And if we have programs in place that no one feels comfortable with, if we have a change in our sexton/office manager, I like to see backups. For instance, like if I'm out of pocket, I know that there are several commissioners that can take care of the superintendent's responsibilities, and back when I was sexton and so forth. I'd like to see backups and total transparency of everything we do with all the commissioners at the most inexpensive way we can do it. So I don't doubt that I won't bring this up again in the future.
That's fine.
To see if we can find an alternative to this cost, because this is a tree a year we're spending on the county. A tree removal a year we're spending on the county. Or, as an example. So
What he meant was
conditions
it
and-
costs us $4,000 a tree, is the analogy.
So with the
For
circumstances as they are, I'll make a motion that we do the upgrade on our accounting system as is necessary.
And I'll second that motion. I would just like to add that I'm hearing a couple of things. I agree that transparency is the paramount issue. I don't have a math brain cell in my body anywhere. It just doesn't exist for me. Money scares me. But yes, being accountable. And we don't have a person, so here I'm getting to my second issue. We don't have a person that can fit that role right now on the commission, which leads me to, can we have an agenda item next month about the commission and how we are going to actively recruit? Is that apropos, or is that?
Let's finish this and then we'll go straight
okay.
to that.
Okay.
So
I make a motion to accept LB's, or I second.
Okay,
LB's
good. All in
motion.
favor?
Sorry.
Aye. Okay, thank you, LB. And let's go along then.
At the very least,
Yes.
whoever is going to be treasurer, which is one of the offices of our commission, they must work very, very closely with the accounting system and the individuals that are involved in posting various things, invoices and so forth.
Yeah.
So that if the ball gets dropped, they can pick it up for a while.
Yeah.
That's got to be something that's
In to that point,
forward.
yeah, the treasurer, we've had some medical setbacks all last year, and so I've actually, continued to handle these roles and responsibilities. But that person, who's not here today, we won't name names, she actually had that whole background on the QuickBooks, which would have fulfilled that role, to your point, positively, yeah. And that's exactly it. That's right. Thank you. Okay. So we will then move forward on the budget. 2 months ago, we had all that budgeted information. We have the 2025 budget, right? Hit the wall. We backed up. Now 6 weeks, 2 months have passed. So we'll get right back on that budget. I will get this upgrade done virtually immediately on my credit card, probably tomorrow. And, it's just all electronic. And then they will give us those budgeting packages that we need. And Ladwig already has the information. Hannah's familiar with it, and we should be able to push right through for that. Now, having said that, every invoice and every expense that we have then will need to be coded right into the proper account. Yeah, and so I'll take that responsibility then to get with Hannah and to produce the chart of accounts which has the proper coding, so that hopefully the treasurer's report, well, let's see, March, April certainly, should have a wonderful budget that we'll be able to go through. So thank you, LB. All right, and I'll take that action item and get right back on that. Let's move on then to the Master Gardener project. Rita, if you'd like to comment on that.
I have nothing to report. It's been too cold to get people out there to look at the areas that we're talking about, so let's table that till next month,
Okay.
please.
Okay, and then new business that we've got down here, we successfully, we've took payment via credit card a couple of weeks ago. That's fine. And I'd like today to discuss this 3% or so charge. And that topic would be, do we calculate that on the spot and just do a little upcharge? When we run the people's card, do we want to just eat the 3%? I don't know what percent of business it is. It's going to be very small now. I don't know how it will grow in the future at the $20 ticket price and these types of things. I would just like to say that at this point in time, I'm not in favor of upcharging 3%, like at this point in time. But if you think so, then we should, and we can go ahead and get that enacted.
I'm not so sure it's 3%. I think it varies.
It does. It's 2.26 to 3.1 or
The
whatever.
law was passed that allowed merchandisers to do that.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean they have to do it.
right.
The law doesn't say you have to do it.
Yeah.
They want to make you think that that's the law, but that's not the law. Something we can always do in the future. I think it'll be less complicated to just
I
do the
think so,
face
too.
value on everything, whether it's a burial plot or a payment on a tour.
Yeah. I
Do
think-
you need a motion?
So I don't think, well, we can go ahead and do a motion to not
I can make a
upcharge.
motion that when we have credit card transactions at the cemetery, that we do not surcharge an additional amount to cover for the credit card processing.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
Yes, you have a second for me.
Okay, and all in favor? Aye, thank you. And then the last point I'd like to mention is to facilitate some of these charges, we do need this little square, and I understand it's virtually no charge or whatever, but we'll put that on a cemetery phone, and it will be integrated then back in through all the books, and it'll work good. So,
Now, you have to coordinate with that with the bank, don't you?
Yes,
yeah,
yes, you do.
And I spoke to Hannah a while ago at our previous meeting, and she's already researching it, and I told her I'd call her tomorrow, and I would like the authority to just go ahead and take care of this if you all will.
I make a motion that you go ahead and take care of the square for our tour with Hannah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it won't all, I mean, that could be used for plot sales as well.
Everything.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, that passed, thank you very much. And let's talk about the truck needs, LB.
All right, the truck has block issues. Recently, we put new glass in the truck. We put 2 new tires on the front of it. Johnson's Automotive said that the repairs would cost more than the truck was worth. For instance, if we were to put a new motor in there, you're talking $3,500 to $4,000.
That's like a crate motor, not like a used motor.
I don't know. That's just an
It sounds
estimate I
like
got
a
from
crate
somebody.
motor. Yeah.
And then you still have transmission that's old and got a lot of miles on it. And would the truck, then if we put the new motor in, it'd be worth, could we ever get our money out of it? And the answer to that's no. But converse, this is a very bad time of the year to try to be getting a used vehicle. Lots of folks are getting their income tax returns. That's bringing the price of used vehicles up.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Also making a shortage. So the truck, even though it sounds terrible, will still run a little bit. They can use it some. My suggestion is for us to look and to publicize. Maybe someone has an old truck that's in good shape that they would like to either donate or sell reasonably to the cemetery. If there's anyone out there that has something like that, it'd be great for them to give us a call. Let's wait till after, if we can, if it's at all possible, let's wait till April or May to try to get a used vehicle of some kind.
Okay. We'll leave this on here. We've had it as part of a loose end here, but that was just like we need a truck. This is critical.
Yeah.
We need a truck. We have
And
a
I
truck.
think we budgeted in the 2025 budget $10,000 for a truck, which that doesn't buy much of anything anymore,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, anticipating this, but I just want to make it clear, anticipating this, we already set aside $10,000 for this truck, and the time's come.
Yep.
Okay. So, I'm on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and these things. I can just start.
Newspaper listings and
I can
so
just
forth,
start
local
looking
listings.
around. Yeah, okay.
We might be able to come up with something, and someone out in the community or in the county might have an old truck that's reliable. Well, it's not something that you're going to drive, 100 miles a day.
Right.
Just needs to be something we can haul stuff in the cemetery and not have to have constant repair.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Folks, come through. We need it. All right.
Do what?
I was talking to the public.
He's talking to the audience.
And other needing volunteers for fundraising, comment on that?
No, just that I'm going to be putting a plug in for that on March 9th when I go speak to the Unitarians about the cemetery. I'm certainly going to ask for volunteers.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, good. Would you like to comment about this event that's coming up?
I was contacted by someone from the Unitarian Church asking if I would come and talk about the cemetery, and in particular, talk with them about green burials. So I'm going to do that. I did speak with Nelson Funeral Home about green burials. And Abby Burnett, the person who did the training for us regarding the symbolism in the cemetery, is going to join me that day at the church. So
Oh, wonderful.
I think I'll put a plug in for commissioners, new commissioners, while I'm there too.
So let's make public to anybody that might be tuning in what our policy is on green burials. LB, would you like to comment on that?
We allow them.
Yeah.
They just, they have to be in some type of shroud,
Yeah.
some type of covering. And that's about it.
Yeah. Embalmed.
No embalming.
No embalming?
No.
Good. Let's talk about that.
No embalming.
Okay, no embalming.
So what makes it a green burial is that there are no chemicals.
Yeah.
So there's not a casket, because there's lots of chemicals in the manufacturing of wood or metal caskets. There's no caskets. There is no embalming. It's done within 3 days because the body is degrading quickly. People are wrapped in a shroud that is typically cotton canvas, untreated. They can be placed in a reed or grass basket or even in a cardboard box. But the whole point of it being green is no chemicals.
Wonderful.
And below ground.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
below
yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great, thank you. So we do green burials,
do.
and we didn't just have to make a policy change here recently. It's kind of the fad, but there have been quite a few green burials at our wonderful cemetery. Okay, announcements. Well, we still have our commemorative coins that are available. We have, LB, would you want to comment about our our little tour, our fun treasure hunt tour at the cemetery, that we give a commemorative coin for those that,
Well, there's
Completed.
information about this coin expedition tour at the kiosk, and a person can take it on their own. There's 6 locations that they look for, and they have to indicate the date of birth and date of death on the form that's there, that goes along with the directions and guidelines and so forth. And upon completion of that, if they submit a check or for $20, then we send them a commemorative coin that's been made, for the cemetery.
yeah, it's fun. And we've had kind of quite a few coming up here, like middle of the winter. I mailed another one. I believe that concludes this portion of the meeting. Do we need to run over and do a little summary? How are you looking?
Well, it's a mess, David, but
Cover the microphone. What we do is right now, we just summarize our meeting so that the accuracy of the meeting minutes are guaranteed. So give us a few minutes, and then we will conclude this meeting.
so, do you want me to talk about the unfinished business? Or
Whatever action
Just
was
speed
taken.
through here.
Okay.
Just any action items.
Okay. So, action items.
Motions.
Yeah, the motions.
I'm with you. I'm just got to find them. So there was a motion made on David's moving the budget forward with an upgrade.
Okay.
There was also a motion to pursue the square. Let David get on with that.
Okay.
There was a motion to,
What we add?
we added
Added
something.
coming up to the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we added the new business was the truck issues that were added by LB and approved by me under new business because the truck issues have grown.
That was changing the agenda,
Okay,
right?
new business.
Yeah, that was,
Square.
that was at the top to
Oh,
approve.
I'm
the
sorry.
agenda.
We also added a discussion for next month about purchasing full-size plots for single cremains. So,
Yeah, and then
For
full
next month's agenda.
size.
right, for next month's agenda.
Yeah, plots, yeah, on the agenda, yeah, full-size
Yeah.
plot to agenda for next month.
Right,
I think that got it, right?
I think I've got it now.
And also the motion about not having a surcharge.
Yeah, and the.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, down here, credit card, yes.
Yeah, on the square.
Should purchase
That
that.
was the square.
Purchase the square and
Motion, no
get that
surcharge.
installed. No surcharge.
Yeah, no surcharge, and to get the I-square. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for your help, guys.
This one.
Good, great.
And that was it?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
Very good. So,
Yep.
the agenda we'll have ready for March the 16th. For the March 16th meeting, right, items will be submitted by March the 12th.
I will not be here for the March 16th meeting.
All right.
But I will get information to you prior to the
Oh,
meeting.
good. Yeah,
Okay?
Okay.
One thing that I'd like to see put on there for sure is we need to upgrade the cemetery maps, both the big one in the office to indicate that we are officially a historical cemetery,
Okay, good.
and also the little handouts. We need to upgrade those things.
Let's go, well, that doesn't even, all we're talking about there is adding the date.
Well, taking off
full-
that part that says it's
Yeah, pending.
Pending.
The national.
yes.
Yeah.
Right,
And we're
because it's a done deal.
approved on the date. So we don't need a motion.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just
All
tend
right.
to
All
that.
right.
I'll take care of that, Elton.
Okay.
Because I'm going to go see over to Wicker Walker.
Yeah.
To meet with her then anyway, like for the tour.
Right.
And I'll have her make that change then.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
good. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion that we adjourn our meeting for
I
today.
would be so happy to second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you all for joining us and consider being part of this great commission. Okay. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
Well,
Thank you, gentlemen.
That was 45 minutes.